If your spreadsheet refuses to add up numbers that look perfectly fine, you're not imagining it. In most cases, the number is actually text, and the reason is often invisible characters, hidden spaces, non-breaking spaces, or sneaky apostrophes. The painful part is that everything looks normal until formulas fail, sorting acts weird, or exports break. In this video, you'll learn how to detect those hidden characters fast and how to remove them safely without damaging real data. We'll cover the most common culprits, including leading apostrophes, trailing spaces, and copy-paste artifacts from websites and PDFs. Then we'll walk through practical cleanup methods you can use in almost any workflow, from simple find-replace to more robust cleaning formulas. You'll also learn how to prevent the issue in the first place, so it doesn't keep coming back. By the end, you'll have a repeatable checklist for turning text numbers into real numbers. Next step. Let's get clear on what text numbers actually means. A real number is stored as a numeric value, so math works and formatting is separate. A text number is stored as characters, like the word 123, even though it looks identical. That difference affects everything. Sum ignores it, comparisons misbehave, and sorting can go 1, 10, 100, 2. The most common reason is extra characters attached to the digits. Sometimes it's obvious, like a leading apostrophe, but more often it's invisible, like a trailing space, a non-breaking space from web pages, or a thin space used as a thousand separator. Another common source is data imports, where the system tries to preserve exact text and stops automatic conversion. The key takeaway is simple. You're not fixing math, you're fixing the underlying data type. Once you treat it as a data cleaning problem, the solution becomes systematic. Next step. Now let's talk about the hidden characters that cause the most trouble. The classic one is the regular space, ASCII 32, often sitting at the end. Next is the non-breaking space, which looks like a normal space, but behaves differently, and often comes from HTML or copied tables. Then you have tabs and line breaks, which can hide inside a cell and break conversions. Another big culprit is the smart apostrophe, or typographic quote, which isn't the same as a plain apostrophe. And finally, there's the leading apostrophe, used intentionally by spreadsheets to force text, like when someone types 00123 to keep leading zeros. Each of these can make a value fail numeric conversion. The reason this matters is that one cleanup method might remove regular spaces, but leave non-breaking spaces behind. So a good workflow starts with identifying which character you're dealing with. Next step. Before you remove anything, you need a quick way to detect the problem. First, check alignment and formatting cues. Many tools align numbers and text differently by default. Next, try a simple numeric test. Does adding 0 change it, or does it throw an error? Another reliable check is length. If two values look identical, but one has a longer character count, something is hiding. You can also compare a cleaned version to the original to see if anything changes. And if you're working with mixed data, test a small sample first. This step saves you from accidentally fixing values that were meant to be text, like product codes or zip codes. Detection is also how you avoid endless trial and error. Once you confirm the issue is hidden characters, you can choose the least destructive cleanup method. Think of it like debugging. Verify, then change. Next step. Let's handle the most obvious offender, the leading apostrophe. In many spreadsheets, a leading apostrophe means store this as text. It's often used to preserve leading zeros or to prevent automatic date conversion. The problem is that it travels with the data when you copy, export, or paste into another system. Removing it can be easy, but you need to be careful. If the value is truly a number, removing the apostrophe is usually correct. If it's an identifier, you may want to keep it as text and only convert when needed for calculations. A practical approach is to create a separate numeric column for math, while keeping the original code column unchanged. That way you don't lose meaning. The takeaway is that apostrophes aren't bad, they're a signal. Your job is to decide whether that signal matches the business meaning of the field. Next step. Spaces are trickier because they're invisible and they come in multiple flavors. Trailing spaces are common when data is manually entered or copied from fixed-width sources. Leading spaces often appear when values are indented or tatted. And non-breaking spaces show up when you copy from web pages, emails, or PDFs. The annoying part is that trimming regular spaces might not remove non-breaking spaces, so the value still stays as text. A solid cleanup strategy is to normalize whitespace first, then trim. That means converting unusual space characters into regular spaces, removing tabs and line breaks, and then trimming the ends. If you skip the normalization step, you can spend a lot of time wondering why trim didn't work. Also, watch out for spaces used as thousand separators in some locales. Removing those might change meaning unless you convert carefully. The goal is clean, consistent characters before you convert to numbers. Next step. Now let's talk about practical cleanup methods you can apply quickly. The first tier is simple replace operations. Replace leading apostrophes, replace non-breaking spaces with regular spaces, and remove tabs or line breaks. The second tier is trimming and cleaning functions, which strip extra whitespace and non-printable characters. The third tier is conversion. Once the text is clean, you convert it to a numeric value using a safe method, like multiplying by 1 or using a dedicated conversion function. The important idea is sequence. If you convert before cleaning, you'll get errors or partial conversions. If you clean without converting, you may still have text numbers that look fine but behave wrong. In real workflows, I recommend creating a clean helper column first. Validate results, then paste values back if needed. That gives you an audit trail and reduces the chance of damaging your raw data. Next step. Here's a reliable mental model for formulas, even if the exact function names differ by tool. Step 1 is clean, meaning remove non-printing characters like tabs and line breaks. Step 2 is substitute, meaning swap special spaces or smart apostrophes for plain characters. Step 3 is trim, meaning remove extra spaces at the start and end, and reduce repeated spaces inside. Step 4 is convert, meaning force the result into a numeric type. A lot of people do step 4 first because it feels like the goal, but conversion is fragile if the string still contains a hidden character. Also, be careful with negative numbers and parentheses, like 123, meaning negative 123 in some systems. That's not a hidden character issue, but it affects conversion rules. The best practice is to build the formula in layers, test on a few messy examples, then apply it broadly once it's stable. Next step. Let's cover a common edge case. Numbers that include separators or symbols. Currency signs, percent signs, and unit labels can turn a number into text. Sometimes you want to remove them, sometimes you want to interpret them. For example, $1,200 might need the dollar sign removed and the comma treated as a thousand separator. But in some locales, 1.200 means 1,200, not 1.2. Another tricky case is a thin space used as a thousand separator, which looks like normal spacing, but isn't. The safest approach is to define what your clean number format should be, then transform everything into that format before conversion. If you're working with multiple countries' data, consider storing raw text in one field and standardized numeric values in another. That separation keeps your calculations consistent and your original data traceable. Cleaning is not just removal, it's controlled normalization. Next step. After you clean and convert, you need to verify that the fix actually worked. Start with a quick aggregation test. Does sum now match what you expect? Then test sorting. Do values sort numerically, not alphabetically? Next, check a few random samples by doing a simple calculation, like adding 1 and confirming the result changes correctly. If your tool supports it, check the data type directly to confirm it's numeric. Also, watch for values that turned into errors or blanks during conversion. Those usually indicate a remaining hidden character or an unexpected format, like a minus sign that isn't the standard hyphen. Finally, document the rule you used, even briefly. That way, the next time this dataset arrives, you can repeat the fix in minutes. Verification turns a one-off cleanup into a dependable process. Next step. Prevention is where you save the most time. If you control data entry, use validation rules that restrict what can be typed, and define formats clearly. If you import data, set explicit column types during import instead of relying on auto-detection. If you copy from web pages or PDFs, paste as plain text first, then run your cleaning step before doing any calculations. Another strong habit is to keep a raw data tab or table that you never edit, and do all cleaning in a separate layer. That makes it easy to rerun the process if the source changes. And if you share files with others, agree on conventions, like whether codes are stored as text and amounts as numbers. Most mystery text number problems are really workflow problems. A small standard up front prevents hours of debugging later. Next step. Let's wrap this into a quick checklist you can reuse. First, confirm it's text by testing a simple calculation and checking sort behavior. Second, identify the likely culprit, apostrophe, regular spaces, non-breaking spaces, or other non-printables. Third, normalize whitespace and replace special characters before trimming. Fourth, convert to numbers using a safe conversion step, and keep identifiers as text when that's the correct meaning. Fifth, verify with sums, sorting, and spot checks. If you do those 5 steps in order, you'll fix the vast majority of numbers stored as text problems without guesswork. If you want, you can turn this into a standard operating procedure for your team. One last thing, if you found this useful, subscribe for more practical data cleaning workflows. And for a quick check-in, comment A or B. Do you run into hidden spaces more often or leading apostrophes more often? I'm always testing new ways to work smarter. Subscribe to see what workflow I'm breaking down next.